Yeah, hi, this is Scott, and I'm with Matreena at Crossroads Boot Camp. And if any of you have been to Matreena's power stretch class, you know that she's really good at this stuff and knows what she's talking about. But one of the things we're going to teach some, do a short series and teach some very classic stretches. And one's for the hip flexor. And really one of the reasons why the hip flexor is so important to open up is you've seen us so many times in class. We teach the squat technique because that's where all your power is. And frankly, one of the easiest things, if you're tight in the hips, you're going to be weak in the glutes, and that's where all your power comes from. It's the biggest muscle in your body. So if we can really use that properly, get good squat technique because we're flexible in the hips, that means we move better, and ultimately, for what a lot of us want here, that means more energy expended, greater metabolic results, and of course more fat loss. So given that, I'll let Matreena teach how to do a proper hip flexor stretch and maybe some of the problems that we encounter and what some of the people do poorly. So I'm your client now.
Thanks, Scott. Okay, let's go ahead and come up off of the mat here, and I just want you to get into a lunge position. And for a lot of people, they get in this lunge position and they don't really center up where those knees and those toes are. So I want that knee over that ankle, and you've got that foot in that perfect position where that toe is turned under. Now go ahead and slide that foot out just a tiny bit to the front here, towards the front, yep. And I want you to just go ahead and take your torso and bring it back a little bit. And I want you to close down those ribs so you're not kind of hyperextending through that chest. Okay, so we're gonna just take, and I want you to take your hand to your knee, and I want you to just lean into this hip flexor here in this quad on the right side. Now to intensify this stretch a little bit, we're gonna stay balanced to that back leg. Reach up, keep that shoulder nice and stable, and as you start to reach up, you're just leaning a little bit deeper into that hip flexor. Good. Now, if you want to intensify the stretch from there, you can take this back hand and reach up towards the ceiling as well. So now you've got that stretch really happening in the front of that quad and that hip flexor on that back side.
Everything just popped.
Good. How's that feel?
That feels wonderful.
Good. Okay, let's go ahead and come out of that. Good, that was really good. And then from this position, we can do a classic hamstring stretch just by taking that front foot and flexing it and then pushing that heel forward. Yep, keep that chest lifted. We want that back nice and straight. Good, and if you can pull those toes towards your face, yeah, get a little bit more of a stretch into that. Yeah, feels good, right?
Yep.
Good.
And can you show really quick some common mistakes that people make and why they really don't stretch when they do that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, one, they just kind of hang out here. They don't really intensify the stretch, so they just kind of hang without really feeling that connection with the muscle. You know, you see a lot of people rotating and just not really feeling, yeah, they're really not centered where they're getting that stretch from the front of the muscle. They'll rotate out and they'll kind of just lean forward. Same thing with this stretch. It doesn't matter how far you're stretching. I happen to be a little bit more flexible than most people, and you also as a guy happen to be a lot more flexible. But I'll see a lot of people just kind of crouch down and they're really not getting into that stretch. So we want to make sure that that chest is lifted.
Just like this, it's like rounding the low back, and I don't really feel like
you don't really feel it.
I'm in a pretty deep position, but nothing's happening.
Right. So we want to keep that chest lifted and that spine nice and long. And again, to get that stretch, it doesn't matter how far you're stretching. You could even keep that knee bent if that hamstring is super tight, which is what's going to happen for most of our clients. They're going to be really tight there. So we want to keep the knee bent just a little bit and then start to intensify the stretch as the body allows itself to open
up. Where I
up.
learned this one with the hamstring is I used to think I'd come down here and look at this, I got my head on my knee.
Looks great.
That's pretty impressive. But where's the stretch?
Nowhere.
It's really nowhere.
Yeah.
So if I straighten my back, it's like, it doesn't look anywhere near as impressive.
But you're feeling the intensity of it.
Big time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, great job. So those are two stretches.
So if you need more information, just give us a call at Crossroads Boot Camp, give the trainer a call, come to our class, and we're with you. So thanks a lot.
We'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye.